Hello, my name is Annette. I'm from ISL in Germany. I'm very happy to tell you a little bit about life in Germany as a student and afterwards, and about the way how you can help your students to get into German public university. Because as most of you know, the German universities are not only good, they are also free of charge. So myself and my colleague Jessica will explain the process to you. And before that, we just want to briefly explain to you how life is in Germany as a student and as how you can help your students. So, okay, German public universities. Why public universities? First of all, they are free of charge, as I mentioned already. And secondly, in Germany, the public universities are the ones that are regulated by the government. They have certain standards. They have a better quality, a higher level, higher grading than the private universities. Only for students who don't make it into public university, they would go into a private university. So most of you probably know Angela Merkel. It was Angela Merkel and her government that realized 15 years ago that the biggest problem that Germany has is the decreasing population. Because with the decreasing population, we have less people going into university every year and less people coming out of university. And since Germany doesn't really have any natural resources, but only the human capital brain, then it's very important that we have people that go and start a job and be creative and work for the industry. So the idea was to attract young people, qualified people from abroad, let them study here for free in the same way as the Germans, give them the same education, allow them to stay, allow them to work, allow them to integrate, and then they can help the German economy to grow. So it's a kind of win-win situation. Your students get a free education. Germany gets a potential new employee later. And even if they do go back home, they will still keep the relationship with Germany going, which is why I have the playground picture there, because it is there for you, the future, well, for your students, yeah? You can come here, you can build your life, you can have a family here. And I have the photograph of the car manufacturer and the biotech laboratory there, because these are probably the two most desired areas that foreign students want to work in. It's definitely all of the engineering, but the biotech, biomedical has become more and more popular. And then after all of this hard work, of course, you deserve a bit of free time as well, which is why I have the photograph of the football and the beer here. And it does not mean that you have to drink beer and play football. No, I don't do that either. There are plenty of other leisure activities, from sports to cultural things. So you can do athletics, swimming, theater, choir, music instrument, play in the orchestra, whatever you like. And yes, it is nice to sit in the summer in a beer garden, but you don't have to drink beer. They have plenty of other nice stuff as well. But it's a nice way to meet people and to practice your German, which is very, very important. So where is ISL? ISL is a nice small city called Koblenz. You can see the red arrow there pointing to it. Koblenz is a nice small city with only 100,000 people living there. Everything is in walking distance, so you don't get lost and you don't waste time commuting. It is close to Frankfurt Airport. It's on the main train line going north-south. It's a very safe city, because if something does happen in Germany, then it only happens in the big cities, because these people want to attract media attention, which they don't have in our city. We have, as I said, all of the activities, all of the sports. And another big advantage of being in a small city is, or not in a small city alone, but in the middle of Germany, is that the people there don't really have a strong dialect. If you're in the far north or in the far south, it can get very difficult to understand the people. So in the middle of Germany, they don't have a strong dialect. And the parents, they are usually happy if they know that the kids are in a safe place and is a small place where they don't have too many distractions during the week, where they can focus on the German and on their work. Let them travel to the big cities on the weekend. So why Germany? Germany is now actually among the top three destinations for studying in the world. So we have plenty of students here from outside the EU. It's more than 12% now, which means your students will always find somebody that they can bond with, somebody from their own cultural background if they get homesick. The label made in Germany, as you know from many, many goods, is also good for education. If you have a German degree, you walk anywhere in the world and you find open doors, you will get a job because the German degrees are recognized worldwide. Germany has a lot of different courses to offer. We have over 18,000 different courses, and there are very many unique courses that you won't have anywhere else in the world, be that material engineering or precision engineering, or the also very unique combination of economics together with engineering, or business together with engineering. That is a very, very popular subject combination here because it gives you insight of the business on both areas. There are no tuition fees, I said that already. The living expenses are low. The average spending money of a student in Germany is 861 euro per month. That pays all of your expenses, food, clothes, rent, public transport, party, telephone, everything you want. And of course, we have big, big job opportunities because, as I said already, Germany has a decreasing population, so we have lots of positions free. And then your students will, of course, ask you, why can I not study in English? You cannot study in English in Germany because you will not be able to integrate and you will not be able to get a job here. Life here happens in German, and that applies to every area of life. If you go to an English-speaking degree course, of which we have about 226, you have no chance of getting a decent job. Yeah, those 226 English-speaking degrees were introduced on demand of the German industry for the engineering students, for the German engineering students to improve their English. And you know what? Learning German is not the worst, because 185 million around the world speak the language. So it's not only in Germany that you can use it. If you learn it and you decide to leave again, you will find plenty of other people. So after Germany introduced this program and started to promote this, of course, they carried out a survey to find out why people are coming here now. And it's fair enough, 35% come here because they have no tuition fee. 30% come here because of the high quality of the degrees. So this has made its round, and people know that a degree from Germany is worth a lot. And then, of course, Germany is very happy to see that 70% of the people come here with the intention of staying in Germany and building their long-term life here. So I told you already that your students will have excellent job opportunities. The unemployment rate amongst all graduates, and that is including everybody, not just the engineers and the people doing business, that includes people doing literature or sports or music or poetry or whatever, is 2.5%. So it's very, very low. And the average time to find a job that's adequate to your degree is 3.5 months. A starting salary after your graduation is about 40,000 euro per year. If you do an engineering subject, it's 10,000 more. If you do a master, it's another 10,000 more. And 2 years after you start working, so 2 years after graduation, you can get your permanent residence, which means you can stay here in Germany forever. So how do you make the way into German university? This here is the most important slide because it shows you the 2 ways into university. I start with the one on the right-hand side, which is the direct access or the short track. If your students have A-levels with a certain subject combination or an IB diploma with a certain subject combination, or indeed 1 or 2 years of successful university in their home country, or a completed bachelor, then they only need to learn German because their A-levels or their IB or their time in university fully qualifies them for German university already. So they spend about 40 weeks with us learning German up to a C1 level, then they move to university. Of course, before they come, they have a guaranteed admission. The same applies for the other people that come out of the many other 12-year curricula that are around the world. Be that in all of South America, all of India, all of Pakistan, most of Africa, even though there is a few with direct access as well. But we guide you on that, yeah? So you don't need to understand at the beginning which ones have direct access and which ones don't. But for most of the 12-year curriculum, you have to do a foundation year to bring you to the same level as the people with the A levels or the IB. So the initial step is also to learn the language, but here you only learn up to a B2 level. Once you pass the B2 level, which is after 30 weeks, you move on to foundation year. In the foundation year, you learn more German, and then at that point you decide what area of study you want to do. So if you want to do engineering, you have to do a different foundation year course than the people who want to do economics or business. Yeah? So it's like a pre-university course. There are certain subjects targeted at what you want to study. And as I said, more German. And you can see here at the end, the level that you have at the end of the foundation year is also a C1. The same as for the people that have direct access, because you must have a C1 before you can enter university and start your bachelor or your master. So I look at the levels in a bit more detail. We have the A1 and the A2 levels. They are the so-called basic levels or the beginner's levels. They take 5 weeks each, and this is important. Most of the embassies around the world expect your students to have an A1 or a B or an A2 level at the time of applying for the visa. The embassies want to see that the students have put some time and some effort into this, and that they know what it means learning a new language or learning German. Then we come to the B1 and the B2 level. They are the intermediate levels. There are very few countries around the world where they even expect the B1. But as I said, most of them are happy with A1 and A2. And then, of course, we have the expert level, the C1. If you want to study in German, of course, you have to be an expert. And you can see everything is nicely split into modules of 5 weeks. And the reason for that is that we start a new course every 5 weeks. So your students have extreme flexibility in terms of arriving. They never have to wait very long. If they get sick or have to go home for the sister's wedding, or if they fail something because they are homesick or too much party or whatever, they can repeat immediately the next 5 levels. Also, as I said, we start every 5 weeks. So, and to reach the A1 and the A2 level that are required by the embassies around the world, you have the option of letting your students do those courses online with us. Same procedure, every 5 weeks, full 30 hours per week, same curricula, same book. So there will be a very smooth transition into whatever level they have when they get their visa. The more they do at home, the shorter the time in Germany will be before they reach their C1. Of course, it gets difficult to do the German at home online once you come to the B levels, yeah, which is why we recommend to only do the A1 and the A2 online. For the rest, you really need to have speaking practice, because the exam at the end is listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And if you never really have the exposure to the language, your speaking and your listening will not really be that well. So A1, A2 online, the rest here in Germany. It's a total of 900 hours for the people that have to do the foundation year, and a total of 1,200 hours for the people that have the direct access. So if you have people who want to do a master, they have to understand that you can only do that in the same subject as your bachelor. The university has to be accredited in Germany. There's a database where we can check that for you. And you must have 75% of the points in your bachelor to do the master. It's not possible in subjects like medicine, psychology, law, education, pharmacy, and so on, because they are taught in a different system. They don't have a bachelor and a master. They do a so-called state examination, which is everything together. So there's no entry possible in the middle. Also, for those subjects, there is a restriction in seats, which also makes it difficult for students to come here and to start these subjects at a low level or at the bachelor level. So I said already earlier, your students will get a confirmed admission before they come to Germany. That does not apply for these restricted subjects, because for those subjects, there is no guarantee. You can only apply after you finish the German course. And the seats are given on academics, so you have to be really good in school, really good in the German course, and if you have to do the foundation year, also really good in the German course. No guarantee, you can only apply afterwards, but we can talk about that in more detail when you have a student. When the students come to us, of course, they need a place to stay, because an apartment in Germany, if you want to rent that, it comes totally empty, so there's nothing in there. No kitchen sink, no bed, no wardrobe. So we have fully furnished, fully equipped, and fully serviced apartments in walking distance to the school. You can have single rooms, you can have shared rooms. The boys and the girls are separate, and of course you have everything there you need. So you have your bed, your wardrobe, your desk, your bed linen, your towels, and in the kitchen you have your pots and your plates and your washing machine and your Hoover and your internet and your fridge and everything you need, okay? So walking distance to the school, no need for commuting. Remember, Koblenz is nice and small. You can walk everywhere. So then, of course, the language course is one part your students have to pay, and they have to pay their living expenses. The living expenses in Germany, as I said earlier, are 861 euro per month on average. If you multiply that by 12, you get 10,332, and that is exactly the amount your students must have in a so-called block account, because there is no work allowed during the language course. Every month you take the 861 out, and of course we also help you with organizing health insurance. So if we quickly look at this step by step, you send us the students' documents, we pre-check them, we tell you if it's with foundation year or without, we send you the offer letter. Then if the student is happy, we go ahead, we get the letter of admission, and your student starts learning German. Then you open the block account, you pay the tuition fee, and you apply for the visa. Then you come to Germany and you continue learning German wherever you are finished at that point. During the German course, and this is the most important thing, yeah, and the biggest advantage of Germany. During the German course, your students have enough time to decide what they want to study and where they want to study, because the admission letter at the beginning is totally non-binding. And this time is important, because the students can physically go to these universities. They can sit into a lecture. They can get a real feeling for a certain subject, because a lot of the young people don't really know what they want to study, and they just decide the same subject as their mommy or daddy or uncle or somebody, or the older brother. So it's very important that they have this option. Then we help you with the application. Sorry. For the visa, you need, of course, the admission letter, the acceptance for the language, the accommodation, the health insurance, the block account, and a motivation letter. We help you with all of this. We do a mock interview before your student goes to the embassy. And then hopefully your students is one of the 250 students that come to us every year to learn the language and to do the foundation year with us and to find their way into German public university, which is then free and gives them the option of staying here. And of course, myself and Jessica will be very happy to answer all of the questions that you have during the ISF meeting or afterwards by email. You can contact us anytime and we are there to help you. I'd like to say thank you for listening to this short presentation. And of course, we can, during the meeting, discuss further points or further questions that you have. Thank you very much.